This morning, not too long ago, we just noticed that one of our young does, Jasmine, looks like she's going to give birth today. Could be very, very soon. We noticed that there was a little bit of white mucus in her lady region, and that normally precedes, you know, the onset of labour. So I've just come back out to check on her and a few others. I thought while I'm out here in Fangorn Forest with them, I'll show you what we've been getting up to the last few days. Toon and I have been busy making sure that the goat house was ready, and the goats are now back on Goat Island in the house there. The good thing about it being nice and dry now, we can get the goats out nice and early. But in here, this pasture at the back of the farm is too dense, and the problem with that is it stays wet for too long, certainly with the canopy over the top. So we do like to get the goats out nice and early when it's dry, and it just spreads out their feeding for the day. But we take them to a couple of farms that neighbour our land, and they're areas that have previously had corn and rice in. So they have a good rummage around in there, and it's a bit of a challenge to get them over there the first day or two you do it, but after that they soon learn where to go, and it's a pretty painless experience. If you've ever been around goats and there's corn in the vicinity, what you don't want to be doing is holding the corn. It can be quite scary, a herd of goats descending upon you if you've got a cob of corn in your hands. So we try to let them find it themselves. But the other good thing is that a lot of the fodder, although it looks absolutely dry as old whatsits to us, they do like it. It's very, very good for their room and their first stomach. I stick with the naughty stick approach. Toon goes for the STS system, which is a shouting, threatening and swearing system to control the goats. They do seem to respond quite well to her, so I think she's onto something. Because the goats go out onto neighbouring farms quite often now, they know where the boundaries are. Some of them will push the limits and try and be a bit sneaky and go on areas when you're not looking, but you know who the troublemakers are. Here's Jasmine here. The old nether region's cleaned up, so that mucus has dropped. We did notice before we spotted the mucus that she did hit, or sort of like half hit, another goat, which isn't really in her character. We have got quite a few goats that like to hit each other, but she's not one of them. So you're looking for anything that's just a little bit out of the ordinary from their normal character, and yeah, it's quite easy to spot when you spend plenty of time with your girls. Little Sophia there, unbelievable. Only 6 months ago she was down a well. That was quite a challenging moment for Leigh's international rescue. Because it's quite a wide open expanse of land that surrounds us with very little on it, the herd spread out very, very quickly. It's not like, you know, somewhere it's quite dense with fodder, and they tend to group together in like a tight herd so that they can remain in direct eyesight. But yeah, so it does take two of us, and you might think, well, bloody hell, that's not very efficient. Two of you out for an hour and a half in the morning, you know, you should be putting them in fenced areas, even if it's a temporary fence. With it not being our land and there's not a huge amount of food in these areas, it's just not worth setting up, well, buying and setting up an electric fence. So what we try and do is just double up our time. We normally have a second coffee mid-morning, so we just grab a brew and take it out with us. Also, while we're out, we quite often just pick up corn as we see it, although you've got to be quite sneaky. If the goats see you grabbing the corn, that's it, they just stampede over and try and knock it out your hand. So yeah, we normally get I don't know, half a bag of corn every time we go out. You'd be surprised how much corn is left in the field after these combines go in and supposedly harvest it all up. There's a lot left. Where we take them, there's also a little bit of land that's just gone fallow after the guy had all his rice harvested. So as we're out, sometimes we just rake up the rice straw and then come back out with our Ben-Hur chariot later on and pick it up. Sometimes we give it to the goats to eat, although they're not fussed on it at all. We can use it as bedding, and we can use it as mulch as well. We could use it as browns in the compost, but we certainly this time we're not short on browns. After about an hour and a half, we kick them in. They know the way back, but they do try and deviate as we try and push them back to the house. But generally speaking, once the first 1 or 2 go in, then the rest know the score and like, oh, the game's up, guys, we're going in. The good thing about using the second goat house near our house is it gives us an opportunity to water the goats, because this time of year goats do drink a lot of water. You can see the fodder, you know, the rainy season's only just left us and everything's browning. The other advantage of still using the second goat house is it gives you a good chance, another opportunity to have a good look at the animals in the herd. Make sure, you know, no one's suffering, got any cuts or grazes that need treating. You know, check their eyes. When we bought a load of new goats about 1.5 years ago, it looked like they had a bit of a cold. A few days later, all like conjunctivitis in their eyes, cloudy and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, again, it's a lesson learned about buying other goats in. We won't, it's a closed farm now. We may buy a breeding buck in the future or something like that, just to get a little bit of new blood introduced into the herd. But we're done with buying other animals. Nearly every problem we've had, by the parasites and by the chemical poisoning, they've been from buying animals in, and you know they've had one or 2 things wrong with them. So yeah, there was the last time we bought some, we bought 10. They were good, they were very good animals, but apart from that, we have had issues. I think the only other animals we had where they were spot on was our second lot, and that was Brownie, Yo-Yo and Blackie, and we haven't had a problem with those 3 from the day we bought them. So it just goes to show you, doesn't it, you buy tip-top goats, even if they cost you a little bit more, it's definitely worth it in the long run. Some of the goats that we had weren't that great, and they'll never be that great. It's looked like they haven't had the best start in life, and it's hard for them to catch up. Some of them do, but some of them, you know, that's, I don't know, it's probably, I'm guessing, but maybe it's affected their development when they're, you know, sort of like in their early months or early year. This area pasture that the herd's on at the moment, they've been on here for, this will be 6 days now. We keep them on here for 2 weeks, and then we move them on to the second part of the pasture, which is separated by an internal fence, and they'll have 2 weeks on there. So I mentioned it before, it's just really to rest the pasture, let it recover a little bit, although recovery takes quite a long time in the dry season, and kill off the parasites. So 2 weeks, the eggs and the worms in the soil, they're all dead by then. I don't know for sure by how much, but certainly during the dry season, the parasites, they don't hang around for as long as in the wet season. You know, in the wet season they'll survive in the droplets of moisture at the sort of like the base of grass and all that sort of stuff. So this is why we try and keep the fodder not trimmed right down to the ground. And it's one of the mistakes we made when we were new to goat farming. It looked great, all this available food. We just let them cane it wherever they wanted, and yeah, it didn't work out that well. After a while, the soil just got saturated with parasites, which sounds minging, and it is. You know, when you see a goat suffering from parasites, it's pretty horrific stuff. But once you get back on top of it, the goats bounce back. I wouldn't say they bounce back very quickly. You know, it takes a couple of months, but yeah, they're so happy with them now. You know, after our mistakes, we're getting most of it right now. All right, Pancake. Yeah, I know, it's shower day tomorrow for you. She didn't like shower day. It'll be her second. She keeps getting pushed over in the mud. I know I'm biased, but we've got little Heidi here, and you know, she's 100% Porpeang farm. That's from Brownie, which to me, she's still by far and away our best goat for many reasons. But just her DNA, you know, she produces brilliant goats. Her Her first kid was Owenetta. She's a huge girl, lovely temperament. Heidi's the same. So, you know, you mix a doe like Brownie with the main man Bullseye. I think I should have called him Bullseye, shouldn't I, with those things hanging from him. But yeah, you mix those two together and you obviously get some absolutely cracking animals. Well, we think they are. There's little April down there. All right, my little nugget. So she was one of a twin that we got from her mum PJ. And twins, what we've noticed, twins very, very rarely catch up. You know, they're obviously a lot smaller than single births, generally speaking. And, well, you might get one big and one small. But yeah, they do lag behind. And as fantastic as it is getting 2 animals instead of 1, we're still waiting for a hat trick. I think if you're looking to keep all your does, you know, from what we've noticed so far, without any shadow of a doubt, you get a better, stronger animal if they're born on their own. If it's twins, you know, you're waiting a long time before they're, I would say, before they're ideal size, frame and size to, you know, to put them to stud or rut. Or is that a ram? That sheep? I don't know. Goat farmer should know that, isn't it? For jigging. Hey Gypsy, you're getting there, aren't you, girl? Not long for you either. Good girl, Heidi. Cleaning a fence for us. And you, mate. Now, of course, goats giving birth isn't an exact science, and sometimes they look like they're going to give birth for about 2 weeks. I mean, there are certain things that you look out for and you check. So their tailbone, you put your finger and thumb either side of the tailbone, and you know, you can almost touch them together. Then yeah, I think it's like their pelvis. You know, with a woman just about to give birth, their pelvis dislocates. It's a bit like that. So I think it's the ligaments loosen off. Yeah, and this white pus, changing behaviour, all that sort of stuff. But some of them just keep you guessing for about a week, and then others catch you out the blue. Doesn't even look like they've got any milk in their udders, and then it's bang, oh, there's a kid or 2. So although it's not common, how many have we had? I think we've had 6 births during the night. We have to be ready for that, and although we check them before we go to bed, and then first thing in the morning we check them, you know, sometimes you do arrive in the morning and there's a kid or 2 there. This month and next month, the month after, there's going to be a lot of afterbirths that are available. For anyone who fancies an afterbirth curry, give us a shout and they won't charge you. Sorry to disappoint you. We do have a bit of an arrangement for being able to put the herd on other neighbouring farms. We give them our afterbirths for free. Come on, Jasmine, are you going to pop a kid out or what? Hey? Hey? Jasmine's one of our more reserved and shy goats in the herd. We've got a few, about 10 or so. So yeah, it's only when a goat is sick or when they give birth that you seem to get that closer bond. You know, they are looking for you to help them out. And yeah, once they've had a kid on your land and you've been there with them, then yeah, you do get a little bit closer to these animals. It's brilliant. After Tequila, you know, miscarried, I just gave birth to her about 3 or 4 weeks too early. You know, it's quite nerve-wracking. It's like when we had our first delivery on the farm. You know, it's like we're at like a crossroads. Everything's starting again now, you know, after everything that went wrong and this and that and the other. Really challenging times. This is it now, you know, everything's set up as it should be just about. The goats are looking good. Toon and I are a lot more experienced. We're making less mistakes now. I'm not saying we're not making mistakes, we still do, of course, as everyone does, but you know, we feel that we're a lot more competent looking after these amazing animals. All right, Sir Francis. All right, Gail. Lovely, isn't you, eh? I will be back bearing gifts of corn for her. Always give them a bit of a treat. It's corn gives them an energy boost as well, so if they have just given birth, once they've fed the kid, then we give them a couple of cupfuls of corn. If you do it before that, because it's like the flipping crack addict, when you give them corn, they'll forget they got a kid, so they got to do their motherly stuff first, and then they get their treat. Well, I can't stand around here all day just looking at goats as much as I'd like to. I've got strimming to do, so I'm going to go back, have a cold drink, get the strimmer out, do half an hour of that, and then I'll be back out again. Oh, we got a full-on challenge now. I think my money's on cafe. Oh, well done, Francis. Settle down. Oh, you're in trouble now. Oh, cafe. Oh, 2-0. No one playing with you, is there? Eh? No one playing. Hey. Good girl, eh? Didn't see 5 minutes ago you were at death's door, girl, eh? Strong little thing. Oh, Jasmine is definitely too posh to push, or too lazy, and it's getting to the end of the day. Everyone's going in. You want to go in, didn't you, April? But sort of an enforced hug. Hey, good girl, aren't you? You little fat nugget. Hey, look at that belly. Look at that belly. Francis, it's time for your bedtime, isn't it? Hey. That is just a ridiculous state of affairs, the size of that. The sun's going down and it's bedtime. Everyone's in already. All the birth rooms are now full. We've got one room that we've got to repair a gate on.
For PJ.
Right, PJ, no room for you tonight, missus. Is it? You're a big girl now.
That's not PJ.
PJ's a kid. Same for you, Francis. Big night for you and Pancake. Right, here we go then. We got Hooter. Look like you just got one girl, haven't you? Naughty Gypsy. Brownie and Owen have commandeered this space. So this one's going to have a new gate put on tomorrow. There we got our one and only Ango goat CLEO. Beautiful girl. Quite shy. Alright girl. We've got a little, well not so little, but we've got a real powerhouse of a unit. Noi Noi. With the curly horns. Not very friendly. She is a firework, that one. And you know Jasmine, too posh to push Jasmine. It's gonna be a late night tonight, I think, because of you. We got ONEZY, because she looks like she's wearing a onesie. Here you go, hey? You're packing on the weight, missus. One of my favourite goats, don't tell the others. YOYO, one of our originals. Lovely girl, you, ain't you, eh? No drama. And the humongous POLLOCK. Alright, girl? Look at that. I'm not a betting man, but I think she's got about 8 kids in there. We've got one bigger one, not Bullseye, but we've got Sam, who's the new head of the herd. And she just does not stop growing. She is huge. And she's still got another month, we reckon. In you go, eh? But I'm not joking, she almost weighs as much as Bullseye. When you have to handle the goats, we always try and get her first, because once the pennies drop that we're after them to give them shots or something like that, she is fast, she's powerful, she just smash you out the way, so you always try and get hold of her first, her and Bullseye. Well, everyone's settling down for the night. A few more minutes, the old orange mozzie lights will come on, so we've moved these from the other house. The other one's down yonder there. We have got a third one which Toon wants to rig up in the middle here, because she's just about to do her little smoke. I've got to bring their water up, but I don't know why they just don't drink the water at night time, but I suppose I've got to have it in here just in case.
They don't want to pee on the bed.
And then we've got the salt there with the vitamins, which Sherbet is guarding. Alright, Spot. Spot is the goat that has given birth to the biggest kid we've ever seen here on the farm. But, well, she really struggled. And then we left him alone, he was on the booby. We'd nicknamed him Trojan because he was such a unit. And then came back a few hours later, early morning, and she'd left him, and he was at death's door. Couldn't save him, unfortunately, but he was far bigger than anything we've seen before. If you remember Boston, made Boston look like a little milk bottle in comparison. Still on tender hooks, and we'll keep checking them tonight, and fingers crossed we'll have something to show you in the morning. Good girl, Doris. 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 Right. Out.
Oh dear, Coffee. Coffee can't run.
Oh.
Dear, my princess can't run. Coffee, stop running now. What you can do?
Oh my God, guys! We just went to the goat house near our house to kick the herd out around the lake, and there's a baby goat there drinking milk from her mum, Hooter. We just had our breakfast, didn't hear anything out there at all. Let's go and have a look. I don't know if it's a buckling or a doeling, but you're running around drinking milk. My goodness, that is the quietest birth ever.
Oh boy. Hello boy.
girl. Look at you, mate. Hey. Unfortunately, Hooter isn't that close to us. I mean, she's not that friendly with us, so we can't get too close. But she's cleaned him up well. I can't believe how quiet she was.
I did hear her scream before, but not really. Just one.
You heard a goat scream but didn't come out. Excellent. Oh, Pollock, that's not your kid, girl. You're going to be soon as well, isn't it? Wait.
I tell you, I did see her nipple. Look at her nipple.
You think we should put her in that room, Toon? Looking for milk, look. I think so, do you? Just for now. You crying about Hoover, eh? Nothing to do with you. Well done, Hooter, eh? Well,
It's not your kid, love.
she's had her corn treat. She's got her salt and minerals. And that is called Sneaky. Because he sneaked out under the radar. Hey? Good girls. This is Hooter's first. They normally scream a lot louder than that she did. Wow. That is the son of Bullseye for sure. He's beautiful, as they all are. Right, we're just about to let the herd out, so Hooter will be staying here. So it'll be good after Burke can pop out here and all the mess can be done here, and then by the time it's night time, put her back in the birth room on the island, put a load of straw in there, keep him dry and warm, and we're going to show you Yo-Yo because her udder is bursting. Milky, milky. All right, Yo-Yo. She's not particularly friendly with Toon, but she's all right with me. But check this out. The old fun bags. She always produces a lot of milk, Yo-Yo does. We'll see. Alright mate, I don't want to see your fun bags. You're a dad again, mate, eh? Banging out the kids, aren't you? Good lad. You need to up your game, Doris, don't you? Eh? Throw yourself at Bullseye.
No.
Oi, oi, oi. Yeah. Jasmine never does this, so she's near. Don't sniff another girl's butt. Alright. Is it today, is it, missus? Not you, no way is you, Blackjack.
Can be. You see her booby.
Bet me flipping flip-flops on that, it's not her. High fives! Wow, that's been a long time to wait, isn't it, eh?
Yeah.
Well, isn't it lovely to finally have a bit of a success story? It's been a long time coming. Fingers crossed it's the start of a new beginning, a new chapter on the farm. Things are finally looking up, eh? What's happening, missus?
Yo-Yo give birth. I did tell him.
Just like buses. All right, girl. Hey. Good girl, Yo-Yo. Good girl.
Oh. Come
Good
on
girl.
now.
Good girl. Good girl. Hey. Good girl. First pregnancy, she had one big boy. After that, she had twins, one of each.
Today she got 3.
What are you all looking at? It's not very nice. Move along, please. Move along. If you're having your breakfast, might not want to look at that. Good girl, Yo-Yo. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Good girl. That's a big one.
Okay, it's a boy.
Is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's
Yes.
another boy. I just see some dangly bits. Judging by the size of that fella, we don't think there's another one in there. But we could rock her and check if there's another one in there. But if there is one, then we'll just see it pop out in a minute. A father twice over in one day so far, mate. We're out wetting the baby's head tonight, eh?
His neck not strong enough to stay longer, innit?